Hello everybody, welcome back to the Fireside Bible Study. We are now on Exodus 11 through 20. On the last study, we read the first piece of the book of Exodus. Moses was born. He saw God. He saw the Lord at the burning bush, and things are beginning. So Moses has a lot of good things coming, and the Lord is about to do some wonderful things for his people. Let me tell you, the Lord is on the move. So, without further ado, let's get right. I'll pray us in. We'll get right into it. Heavenly Father, thank you very much for this opportunity and this time to study your word. We are about to learn the works that you did in the time of Moses, with the Ten Commandments, parting of the Red Sea, all that good stuff. And as we go, we just pray that you continue to bestow upon us wisdom. Let the Holy Spirit come in and teach us, and pray that we retain that knowledge and that wisdom. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen. All right, let's go. All right, here we go. The last plague. So if you remember from the last study, the Lord was unleashing plagues upon the Pharaoh, and hardening his heart. So things are about to get a little, rocky. The last plague. Now the Lord said to Moses, "One more plague I will bring on Pharaoh and on Egypt. After that he will let you go from here. When he lets you go, he will assuredly drive you out from here completely. Speak now so the people may hear that each man is to ask of his neighbor, and each woman her neighbor, articles of silver, articles of gold." And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Furthermore, the man Moses himself was greatly esteemed in the land of Egypt, both in the sight of the Pharaoh's servants and in the sight of the people. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord says. About midnight I'm going out in the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, and the firstborn of the Pharaoh who sits on his throne, to the firstborn of the slave girl who is behind all the millstones, and all the firstborn of the cattle as well. So there'll be a great cry in all the land of Egypt, such as there has not been before, and there shall never be again. But even a dog will threaten any of the, but not even a dog, will threaten any of the sons of Israel, nor anything from person to animal, so that you may learn how the Lord distinguishes between Egypt and Israel. All these servants of yours will come down to me and bow themselves before me, saying, 'Go out, you and all the people who follow you, and after that I will go out.' And he left Pharaoh in the heat of anger. Then the Lord said to Moses, 'Pharaoh will not listen to you, so my wonders will be multiplied in the land of Egypt.' So Moses and Aaron performed all these wonders before Pharaoh, yet the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the sons of Israel go out of this land. Now the Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, 'This month shall be the beginning of months to you. It is to be the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th of this month they are each one to take a lamb for themselves, according to the fathers' households, a lamb for each household. Now if the house is too small for a lamb, then he and his neighbor nearest to his house are to take one according to the number of persons in them, in proportion to what each one should eat, and you are to divide the lamb. Your lamb shall be an unblemished male, a year old. You may take it from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel is to slaughter it at twilight. Moreover, they shall take some of the blood and put it on 2 doorposts of the intel of the houses which they eat it. Then they shall eat the flesh at the same night, roasted with fire, so they shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Do not eat any of it raw or boiled at all with water, but rather roasted with fire, both its head and its legs along with its entrails. You shall not leave any of it over until morning, but whatever is left of it until morning you shall completely burn with fire. Now you shall eat it in this way, with your garment belted around your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in a hurry. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will go through the land of Egypt on that night, and fatally strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the human firstborn to animals. Against all the gods of Egypt I shall execute judgments. I am the Lord. The blood shall be a sign for you on the houses where you live, and when I see blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will come upon you, to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. Feast of the Unleavened Bread. Now this day shall be a memorial to you, and you shall celebrate it as a feast to the Lord. Throughout your generations you are to celebrate it as a permanent ordinance. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, but on the first day you shall remove dough with yeast from your houses. For whoever eats anything with yeast on the first day to the 7th day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. And on that first day you shall have a holy assembly, and another holy assembly on the 7th day. No work at all shall be done on them, except for what must be eaten by every person, so that alone may be prepared by you. You shall also keep the feast of the unleavened bread, for on this very day I brought your multitudes out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall keep this day throughout your generations as a permanent ordinance. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. For 7 days there shall be no dough or yeast found in your houses, for whoever eats anything with yeast, that person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel. And whether he is a stranger or a native of the land, you shall not eat anything with yeast. In all your dwellings you shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go and take for yourselves lambs according to your families, and slaughter the Passover lamb. You shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood which is in the basin, and apply some of that blood that is in the basin to the lintel and the 2 doorposts, and none of you shall go outside of this door of the house until morning. A memorial of redemption. For the Lord will pass through to strike the Egyptians, but when he sees the blood on the lintel and 2 doorposts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not allow the destroyer to come into your house and strike you. You shall keep this event as an ordinance for you and your children forever. And when you enter the land which the Lord will give you, he has promised, you shall keep this rite. And when your children say to you, What does this rite mean to you? Then you shall say, It is a Passover sacrifice to the Lord, because he passed over the houses of the sons of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians, but spared our homes. And the people bowed low and worshipped. Then the sons of Israel went and did so, just as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, and so they did. Now it came about midnight that the Lord struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of the Pharaoh who sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. Pharaoh got up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians. There was a great cry in Egypt, for there was no home where there was not someone dead. Then he called for Moses and Aaron at night and said, Rise up, get out from among my people, both of you, sons of Israel, and go. Worship your Lord as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds, and go, and bless me also. And they're gone. Exodus of Israel. So the Egyptians urged the people to send them out of the land in a hurry, for they said, We will all be dead. So the people took their dough before it was leavened, with their kneading bowls bound up in the clothes of their shoulders. Now the sons of Israel had done according to the word of Moses, for which they had requested from the Egyptians articles of silver and articles of gold and clothing. And the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have their request. Therefore they plundered the Egyptians. Now the sons of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, and 600,000 men on foot, aside from children. A mixed multitude also went with them, along with flocks and herds, a very large number of livestock. And they baked the dough which they had brought out of Egypt into cakes of unleavened bread, for it had no yeast, since they were driven out of Egypt and could not delay, nor they had prepared any provisions for themselves. Now the time that the sons of Israel had lived in Egypt was 430 years, and at the end of 430 years, this very day, all the multitudes of the Lord departed from the land of Egypt. Ordinance of the Passover. It is a night to be observed for the Lord, for having brought them out of the land of Egypt, this night is for the Lord to be observed by all the sons of Egypt throughout their generations. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner is to eat it. But as for every slave that someone has purchased with money, after you have circumcised him, you may eat it. A stranger or hired worker shall not eat it. It is to be eaten in a single house. You are not to bring any of the meat outside of the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Israel are to celebrate this. But if a stranger resides with you and celebrates the Passover to the Lord, all of his males are to be circumcised, so then he shall come near to celebrate it. And he shall be like the native of the land, but no circumcised male may eat it. The same shall apply to the native as well as the stranger who resides among you. Then all the sons of Israel did so, and they did just as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. And on that very day the Lord brought the sons of Israel out of the land of Egypt according to their multitudes. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Sanctify to me every firstborn The firstborn of every womb among the sons of Israel, among people and animals alike, belongs to me. And Moses said to the people, remember this day which you departed from Egypt, from the house of slavery, for by a powerful hand the Lord has brought you out of this place. And nothing with yeast shall be eaten. On this day, in the month of Abib, you are to go out from here. And it shall be when the Lord brings you to the land of Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Hivite, the Jebusite, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, so that you may perform this rite in this month. For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten throughout the 7 days. Nothing with yeast shall be seen among you, nor shall any dough with yeast be seen among you in all your borders. And you shall tell your son on that day, saying, it is because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt. And it shall serve as a sign to you on your hand, as a reminder on your forehead, the law of the Lord may be in your mouth. For with a powerful hand the Lord brought you out of Egypt. Therefore you shall keep this ordinance at its appointed time from year to year. Now when the Lord brings you out of the land of to the land of Canaanite, he swore to you and your fathers and gives it to you. You shall devote to the Lord every firstborn of a womb, and every firstborn offspring of an animal you own. The males belong to the Lord. But every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. But if you do not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. And every firstborn among your sons you shall redeem. And it shall be when your son asks you in time to come, saying, what is this? You shall say to him, with a powerful hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt, from the house of slavery. And it came about when the Pharaoh was stubborn about letting us go, the Lord put to death every firstborn in the land of Egypt, from human firstborns to animal firstborns. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord the males, every firstborn of a womb, but every firstborn of my sons I redeem. So it shall serve as a sign on your hand, as phylacteries? Did I say that right? On your forehead, with a powerful hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt. God leads the people. Now when Pharaoh had let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, even though it was near. For God said, the people might change their minds when they see war, and return to Egypt. Therefore God led the people around by the way of the wilderness to the Red Sea, and the sons of Israel went up in battle formation from the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had made the sons of Israel solemnly swear, saying, God will certainly take care of you, and you shall carry my bones from here with you. And they set out from Succoth and camped in Etham, on the very edge of the wilderness. And the Lord was going before them in a pillar of cloud from day to day to lead them along the way, and a pillar of fire by night to give them light, so they may travel by day and night. He did not take away the pillar of cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night, from the presence of the people. That's cool. Imagine that, just a giant pillar just in front of you at all times, of fire or wind. Crazy. Pharaoh in pursuit, 14. Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, tell the sons of Israel to turn back and camp in front of Pi-Hahiroth? Pi-Hirayoth. I don't know how to say that. Between Migdol and the sea. You shall camp in front of Baal-Zephon, opposite it by the sea. For the Pharaoh will say to the sons of Israel, they are wandering aimlessly in the land. The wilderness has shut them in, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase after them. I will be honored through Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. And they did so. When the king of Egypt told the people had fled, or was told the people had fled, Pharaoh and his servants had a change of heart toward the people, and they said, what is this that we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us? So he had horses harnessed to his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 select chariots and other chariots of Egypt and the officers all over them. So the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he chased after the sons of Israel as the sons of Israel were going out boldly. Then the Egyptians chased after them with all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen and his army, and they overtook them by camping by the sea, beside Pi-Hahiroth in front of Baal-Zephon. As Pharaoh approached, the sons of Israel looked, and behold, the Egyptians were coming after them, and they became very frightened. So the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, is it because there were no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you dealt with us in this way, bringing us out of Egypt? Is this not the word that we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, leave us alone so we may serve the Egyptians? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. Oh boy. The sea is divided. But Moses said to the people, "Do not fear. Stand by and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will perform for you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you will never see them again ever. The Lord will fight for you while you keep silent." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the sons of Israel to go forward. As for you, lift up your staff and reach out with your hand over the sea and divide it. And the sons of Israel shall go through the midst of the sea on dry land. And as for me, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, so that they will go in after them, and I will be honored through Pharaoh and his army, through his chariots and his horsemen. Then the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord, when I am honored through Pharaoh, through his chariots, and through his horsemen." Then the angel of God, who had been going before the camp of Israel, moved and went behind them, and a pillar of cloud moved from before them and stood behind them. So that it came between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Israel, and there was the cloud along with the darkness, yet it gave light at night. Therefore the one did not approach the other all night. Then Moses reached out with his hand over the sea, and the Lord swept the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and turned the sea into dry land, and the waters were divided. So the sons of Israel went through the midst of the sea on dry land, and the waters were like a wall to them on their right and on their left. Then the Egyptians took up the pursuit. All the Pharaoh's horses and chariots and his horsemen went in after them in the midst of the sea. But at the morning watch, the Lord looked down on the army of the Egyptians, and through the pillar of fire and cloud brought the army of the Egyptians into confusion. He caused their chariot wheels to swerve and made them drive with difficulty. So the Egyptians each said, "Let me flee from Israel, for the Lord is fighting for them against the Egyptians." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Reach out with your hand over the sea, so the waters may come back over the Egyptians, over the chariots and the horsemen." So Moses reached out with his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its normal state at daybreak, while the Egyptians were fleeing right into it. Then the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen. Pharaoh's entire army had gone into the sea after them, not one of them remained. But the sons of Israel walked on dry land through the midst of the sea, and the waters were like a wall to them on their right and their left. So the Lord saved Israel that day from the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. When Israel saw the great power that the Lord had used against the Egyptians, the people feared the Lord, and they believed in the Lord and his servant Moses. The Song of Moses and Israel. Then Moses and the sons of Israel sang this song to the Lord, saying, "I will sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. The horse and the rider he has hurled into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song. He has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise him. My father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his army he has thrown into the sea. And the choicest of his officers are drowned in the Red Sea. The waters cover them. They went down to the depths like stone. Your right hand, Lord, is majestic in power. Your right hand, Lord, destroys the enemy. And in the greatness of your excellence, you overthrow those who rise up against you. You send out your burning anger, and it consumes them like chaff. And the blast of your nostrils, the water piled up. The flowing waters stood up like a heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, "I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoils. I shall be satisfied against them. I will draw my sword, my hand will destroy them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you among the gods, Lord? Who is like you, majestic in holiness? Awesome in praises, working wonders. You reached out with your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your faithfulness you have led the people whom you have redeemed. In your strength you have guided them to your holy habitation. Your peoples have heard, they've trembled. Anguish has gripped the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom were terrified. The leaders of Moab trembling grips them, and all the inhabitants of Canaan have despaired. Terror and dread fall upon them. By the greatness of your arm they are motionless as stone. Until your people pass over, Lord, until the people pass over whom you have purchased, you will bring them and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance. The place, the Lord, who you have made as your dwelling. The sanctuary, Lord, your hands have established. The Lord shall reign forever and ever." I was not going to sing that, guys. I can't sing. For the horses of Pharaoh and his chariots and horsemen went into the sea. The Lord brought back the waters of the sea on them. But the sons of Israel walked on dry land through the midst of the sea. Miriam the prophetess, Aaron's sister, took the tambourine in her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dancing. Miriam answered them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. The horse and his rider he has hurled into the sea." Then Moses led Israel through from the Red Sea. They went out to the wilderness of Shur, and they went 3 days into the wilderness and found no water. When they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah because they were bitter. For that reason, it was named Marah. So the people grumbled at Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" Then he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree. He threw it to the waters, and the waters became sweet. There he made for them a statute and regulation. There he tested them. And he said, "If you will listen carefully to the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his sight, and listen to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you which I have put on the Egyptians, for I, the Lord, am your healer." Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water, and 70 date palms, and they camped there beside the waters. Lord always provides. The Lord provides manna. Then they set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the sons of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai. Interesting name for wilderness, huh? Sin. On the 15th day of the second month of their departure from the land of Egypt. But the whole congregation of the sons of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. The sons of Israel said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in the land of Egypt, where we sat by the pots of meat, where we ate bread until we were full, for you have brought us into the wilderness to kill this entire assembly with hunger." Boy, these guys have no faith, huh? Then the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from the heaven for you. The people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, so that I may test them, whether or not they will walk in my instruction. On the 6th day, when they prepare for what they bring in, it will be twice as much as what they gather daily." So Moses and Aaron said that to all the sons of Israel, "At evening you will know that the Lord has brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, for he hears your grumblings against the Lord, and what are we that you grumble against us?" The Lord provides meat. And Moses said, "This will happen when the Lord gives you meat to eat in the evening, and bread to the full in the morning. For the Lord hears your grumblings which you grumble against him. And what are we? Your grumblings are not against us, but against the Lord." Then Aaron said to Moses, "Say to all the congregation of the sons of Israel, come forward before the Lord, for he has heard your grumblings." And it came about as Aaron spoke to the entire congregation of the sons of Israel, that he looked toward the wilderness. And behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "I have heard the grumblings of the sons of Israel. Speak to them, saying, At twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God." So it came about in the evening that the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. So when the layer of dew evaporated, behold, on the surface of the wilderness there was a fine flake-like thing, fine as frost on the ground. When the sons of Israel saw it, they said to one another, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. And Moses said to them, "It is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Everyone gather as much as he will eat. You shall take an omer apiece, according to the number of people each of you has in his tent." The sons of Israel did so, and gathered as much as some gathered much, and some little. When they measured it by the omer, the one who gathered much did not have too much, and the one who gathered little did not have too little. Everyone gathered as much as he would eat. Moses said to him, "No one is to leave any of it till morning." But they did not listen to Moses, and some left part of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, everyone as much as he would eat, but when the sun became hot, it would melt. The Sabbath. Now on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. When all the leaders of the congregation came and told Moses, then he said to them, "This is what the Lord meant. Tomorrow is a Sabbath observance, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake, and boil what you will boil. All that is left over put aside to be kept till morning." So they put it aside till morning, as Moses had ordered. And it did not stink, nor was there a maggot in it. Then Moses said, Eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will be none. Yet it came about on the 7th day that some people went out to gather, but they found none. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my instructions? See, the Lord has given you the Sabbath. For that reason he gives you bread for 2 days on the 6th day. Remain everyone in his place. No one is to leave this place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel named the bread manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and its taste was like wafers with honey. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. A full omer of it is to be kept safe throughout your generations, so that it may see the bread I fed you I fed you in the wilderness, and when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." And Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put a full omer of manna in it. Place it before the Lord and keep it safe throughout your generations." As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron placed it before the testimony to be kept. And the sons of Israel ate the manna for 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate the manna and came to the border of the land of Canaan. 40 years? Wow. An omer is a tenth of an ephah. I don't know what an ephah is. Water in the rock, 17. Then all the congregation of the sons of Israel journeyed by stages from the wilderness of Sin, according to the command of the Lord, and camped at Rephidim. There was no water for the people to drink. So the people quarreled with Moses and said, "Give us water so they may drink." And Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" But the people were thirsty for water there. And they grumbled against Moses and said, "Why is it that you brought us up from Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" So Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "What am I to do with these people? A little more and they will stone me." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pass before the people and take some with you, the elders of Israel. Take your hand and your staff which you struck the Nile, and go. Behold, I will stand before you on the rock at Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, so the people may drink." And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. He named the place Massah and Meribah, because the quarrel of the sons of Israel, and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" People have no faith, let me tell you. Miraculous battle against Amalek. Then Amalek came and fought against Israel at Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, "Choose men for us to go out and fight against Amalek. Tomorrow I will station myself on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand." Joshua did just as Moses told him, and fought against Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. So it came about when Moses held his hand up, so that Israel prevailed. But when he laid his hand down, Amalek prevailed. So Moses' hands were heavy, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and one on the other. So his hands were steady until the sun set, and Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this in a book as a memorial and recite it to Joshua, so I will utterly wipe out the memory of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar and named it, "The Lord is my banner." And he said, "Because the Lord has sworn, the Lord will have war against Amalek from generation to generation." Who is Amalek? I guess it's someone who was not a friend. I guess we'll go with that. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, 18. Now Jethro, the prince of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard about everything that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took in Moses' wife Zipporah, after he sent her away, and her 2 sons, whom was named Gershom, for Moses said, "I have been a stranger in a foreign land," and the other was named Eliezer, for he said, "The God of my father was my help, and he saved me from the sword of Pharaoh." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness where he was camped, at the mountain of God. And he sent word to Moses, "I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and your two sons with her." Then Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and he bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their welfare, and went into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law everything that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had confronted them on their journey, and how the Lord rescued them. And Jethro rejoiced over the goodness which the Lord had done for Israel, and rescuing them from the hand of the Egyptians. So Jethro said, "Blessed be the Lord who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and from the hand of Pharaoh, and who rescued the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods indeed. It was proven when they acted insolently against the people." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses, father-in-law, before God. Jethro counsels Moses. And it came about the next day that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood before Moses from morning until the evening. Now when Moses' father-in-law saw all he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this thing that you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge, and all the people stand before you from morning until evening?" Moses said to his father-in-law, "Because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a dispute, it comes to me, and I judge between someone and his neighbor and make the statutes of God known and his laws." Moses' father-in-law said to him, "This thing that you are doing is not good. You will surely wear out both yourself and these people who are with you, because the task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Now listen to me. I will give you counsel, and God be with you. You be the people's representative before God, and you bring the disputes to God. Then admonish them about the statutes and the laws, and make known to them the way in which they are to walk, and the work they are about to do." 21. Furthermore, you shall select out of all the people able men who fear God, men of truth, those who hate dishonest gain, and you shall place these over them as leaders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, of tens. Let them judge the people at all times, and let it be that they will bring everyone to you every major matter. But they will judge every minor matter themselves, so it will be easier for you, and they carry the burden with you. If you do this thing, and God so commands you, you'll be able to endure, and all these people will all go to their places of peace. So Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything that he had said. Moses chose able men out of all of Israel, and made them heads over the people, leaders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and tens. Then they judged people at all times. They would bring difficult matters to Moses, but they would judge every minor matter themselves. Then Moses said goodbye to his father-in-law, and Jethro went on his way on his own land. Moses on Mount Sinai. In the 3rd month after the sons of Israel had gone to the land of Egypt, on that very day they came to the wilderness of Sinai. When they set out from Rephidim, they came to the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness, and Israel camped out in front of the mountain. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, "This is what you shall say to the house of Jacob and tell the sons of Israel. You yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I carried you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now then, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my own possession among the peoples, for all the earth is mine. You shall be to me a kingdom of priests and holy nation. These are the words you shall speak to the sons of Israel." So Moses came and called the elders of the people, and set before them all these words the Lord had commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, "All that the Lord has spoken we will do." And Moses brought back the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I will come to you in a thick cloud, so that people may hear when I speak with you, and may trust in you forever." Moses told the words of the people to the Lord. The Lord also said to Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and have them wash their garments, and have them ready for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. But you shall set boundaries for the people around, saying, Beware you do not go up in the mountain or touch the border of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be certainly put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall certainly be stoned or shot through, whether animal or person. The violator shall not live. When the ram's horn sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain." So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and consecrated the people, and they washed their garments. He also said to the people, Be ready for the 3rd day. Do not go near a woman." So it came about on the 3rd day, when it was morning, there were thunder and lightning flashes and a thick cloud over the mountain, and a very loud trumpet sound. So all the people who were in the camp trembled, and Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. The Lord visits Mount Sinai. Now Mount Sinai was all in smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the entire mountain quaked violently. When the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him with thunder. Then the Lord came down on Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain. Moses went up. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. "Go down, warn the people, so they do not break through the Lord to stare. Many of them perish. Also have the priests who approach the Lord consecrate themselves, for else the Lord will break out against them." Moses said to the Lord, "The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Set boundaries around the mountain and consecrate it." Then the Lord said to him, "Go down and come up again, you and Aaron with you, but do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, or he will break out against them." So Moses went down to the people and told them. Alright, we're going to read 20. So we're actually doing 11 through 21 today, but this is an important one. So we're going to do this one now. The 10 Commandments, 20. Then God spoke to all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, nor any likeness of what is in heaven above or on the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. You shall not worship them or serve them, for I, the Lord, am your God, am a jealous God, inflicting the punishment of the fathers of the children on the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing favor to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave him unpunished for who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. For 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you, your son or your daughter, your male slave, your female slave, or your cattle, or your resident who stays with you. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens with the earth, the sea, and everything is in them. He rested on the seventh day. For that reason the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord gives you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male slave, female slave, ox, donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. And all the people were watching and hearing the thunder and the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when people saw it all, they trembled and stood at a distance. Then they said to Moses, Speak to us yourself, and we will listen, but do not have God speak to us, or we will all die. However, Moses spoke to the people, saying, Do not be afraid, for the God has come in order to test you, and in order that the fear of him may remain in you, so that you will not sin. So the people stood at a distance, while Moses approached a thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said to Moses, This is what you say to the sons of Israel. You yourselves have seen that I have spoken to you from heaven. You shall not make other gods besides me, gods of silver, gods of gold, you shall not make for yourselves. You shall make an altar of earth to me, and you shall sacrifice on your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen, in every place that I cause my name to be remembered. I will come and bless you. If you make an altar of stone for me, you shall not build it out of cut stones, for if you will your chisel on it, you will profane it. And you will not go up by steps to my altar, so that your nakedness not be exposed on it. Okay, sorry, we need to read that one. But that's it for now. So we read Exodus 11 through 21. The Lord officially brought all his people out of Egypt, parted the Red Sea, took out the Egyptians with it, and now he's given them the 10 Commandments. So, we're not done yet, though. They still have to make it to the Promised Land. So, we will do that on the next episode of the Fireside Bible Study. And thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.